Welcome to the Recon Trader. In today's video, I will share with you the updated results of the Binance Futures Grid bot that I deployed 15 days ago. Now, before we get too far into the weeds, I want to stress this video is intended for educational purposes to show you how you might be able to use the Binance Futures Grid bot. Now, trading futures with margin and leverage entails a high amount of risk, and basically, I wouldn't do it unless you understand you could lose everything that you invest. Now, enough jaw-jacking, let's get to the actual results. So, 15 days ago, I deployed a grid trading bot on the Binance Futures Exchange. If you didn't see that video, you check out my playlist. I'll also include a link down below in the description, and you can see how I actually configured this particular grid trading bot. And from the strategy trading platform, I'm going to jump over to Active Grid, which will be the grid I deployed 15 days ago. And we can take a peek at the actual settings that I used for this grid bot via the grid details. And so my total investment was $1,000. Realized profit so far is $140 in 15 days. Unrealized profit is 55 cents. I was using leverage of 9x. Current margin is $77. I chose the isolated version. My initial margin was 115 with the, again, 9x leverage. The number of grids, essentially limit orders that I deployed, was 70. And the quantity per order, essentially each grid, was 0.013 ETH. And then my upper and lower range of the grid was, the bottom was 800 and the top was 1400. Now it's important to point out from the documentation that I did my recon on, once the bot exceeded one of these levels, the bot would terminate. That's not actually the case. I'll get to that in a moment, so stick with me. And then finally, the profit per grid, I had 0.76%. So basically I was covering my fee, which would be around 0.16%, and the rest would be profit on the way I calculated it. Now, I also set a stop trigger on the high side of 1500 and on the bottom of 700. We did not exceed those as of yet. And I chose to cancel all orders on stop and close all positions on stop. So those were basically the settings that I chose. Now the bot has actually completed 1,238 trades in 15 days and 21 hours, almost 16 days. The bot has completed just over 1,200 orders. So with that being said, I'm currently looking at a total profit of 121%. Realized profit's $140, and then the unrealized profit is the 68 cents. Now, if we jump back over to the actual grid itself and the way I set it up, the red lines and green lines are the grid. They represent limit orders. The green lines on the grid are buy limit orders, and the red lines, depending on where you are in the position, if you're long, they're stop limit orders. If you're actually short, they're short limit orders. And most of this time from when I deployed this bot, I've been on the short side, with brief moments being on the long side. But overall, for the most case, I've been on the short side, which on this particular push up, when we hit this $1,400 level, which I thought would be the termination of the bot, it just stopped placing orders essentially. And there were no more red limit orders. They were all green limit orders. So once I dip back in, I would actually buy back the position. And I will say a bot like this takes a lot of understanding of short and long positions. And it does take a lot of patience when you see these big moves up and you get a big negative number because you're short, to hang in there for the eventual sell-off. And that's essentially what happened each time, is it would move up and then sell off. And then it would start to move up, sell off. Now that's a pretty big move up here, but I've had an equally big sell off. And the reason I picked the $1,400 level as my stop area is that was all-time new highs, and we actually set some all-time new highs. Now what generally happens when you hit all-time new highs? It almost always sells off. Not necessarily dramatically. You can see it slowly sold off, started to build up, didn't make it back up to that level, and now we've sold back off. So the bot is doing everything I want it to do, but if you're not accustomed to how a grid bot slowly accumulates profit, You might not be comfortable with this type of risk. It's truly not for everyone. You truly need to do your recon and understand what you're getting into. Alright, so if we jump back over to the main dashboard for the Binance futures, you can find the grid bot set up under grid trading. Let's take a peek at some of the numbers. And as far as my margin ratio, you can see I'm just under 4%. I don't think I've ever been out of the green zone. I think I saw it as high as around 7 or 8%, maybe 9% on that big run up over 1400. But I've never really been in the yellow, or definitely never in the red zone of being liquidated. You can see right now on ETH USDT, the bot is currently in a short position. That red bar tells you these positions are short. But if this price action continues down and hits the next two grids, it will liquidate this position, and then I would start taking a long position as it continued down. And again, you can see my entry price on the current positions is 1200. The mark price is 1173. Liquidation price would have to get up to 1328. Again, my margin ratio is the same as it was over here, around 3.5, almost 4. And then the margin is 3.47, and it's isolated. And if you're wondering what isolated means, you have a choice when you set up the bot to either do cross, which means you will share the margin across all your investments, or isolated, so the margin is, if it gets liquidated, it's limited to just this investment. And my P&L, which is unrealized profit and loss, is 68 cents or 20%. And then I have the option to go ahead and close all my positions. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. After just about half a month of being deployed, the bot is up over 120% and is doing a great job of accumulating profit. Now, I will do future update videos, so be sure to shoot that subscribe button and smash that notification bell so you don't miss out on those videos. And if you liked the video, spike the like. If you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comment section down below. And until next time, remember, never send your money into battle without first doing your recon. See you in the next video.